Let's be real for a second. Occupational health and safety planning, it can sometimes feel like a huge chore, right? Just a mountain of paperwork we have to get through. But what if we flip that script? What if instead of a boring list of rules, it was actually a blueprint for a safer, more productive, and way more successful workplace? Well, that's exactly what we're going to build today. So let me ask you something right off the bat. Think about your current safety plan. Is it designed to get ahead of problems and prevent them before they even happen? Or is it more about cleaning up the mess after something's gone wrong? You see, the difference between being proactive and reactive, that's everything. And it's the core idea behind building a real, living safety blueprint. All right, here's our game plan. We're gonna walk through 5 clear steps to get this done. We'll kick things off with leadership, then dive into spotting hazards, figuring out our risks, setting some solid goals, and finally, bringing it all home with a concrete action plan. This is our roadmap. Let's get into it. Okay, section 1, leadership sets the stage. You know, every great building needs a rock-solid foundation. And when it comes to workplace safety, that foundation is 100% built on the commitment from the very top of the organization. You can see here how the whole process flows. It all begins with leadership. Seriously, think of it like the engine of a car. Without that initial push, that genuine commitment, the other gears, hazard ID, risk assessment, all of it, they just won't turn properly. And this is a really, really important point. There's a world of difference between passive compliance, having a dusty policy manual sitting on a shelf somewhere, and active commitment. That's when leaders are out there, championing safety with their words and, even more importantly, with their actions, day in and day out. So what does that active commitment actually look like? Well, it means writing a safety policy that's actually clear and easy for everyone to understand. It means making sure everybody knows who's responsible for what, and this is so important. It means bringing your workers into the conversation, asking for their input, and getting them involved. This can't be just a top-down order, it has to be a genuine team effort. Awesome. Now let's jump into section 2, finding hazards and opportunities. With that leadership foundation firmly in place, it's time to start surveying the landscape. What are we actually dealing with in our workplace every single day? I want you to think of hazard identification as being a detective. It's about putting on your detective hat, walking through your workspace, and proactively looking for anything, a situation, a piece of gear, a weird process that has the potential to cause harm. The whole idea is to find the problems before they find you. And these hazards, they can pop up in all sorts of ways. Some are super obvious, right? Like a wet floor or a frayed cord. But others are sneakier, like the long-term strain you get from a badly designed desk, or the risk from chemicals that aren't stored right. It could even be a procedural hazard, like a big gap in your training program. And this is a huge mindset shift. Surveying the landscape isn't just about spotting threats. It's also about finding opportunities. A risk is about preventing something bad from happening, like an injury or a fine. But an opportunity? That's about actively creating a positive change, like finding some new technology that makes a job both safer and a whole lot easier. Okay, on to section 3, assessing your risks. So, we've identified a whole list of potential hazards. That's great. But now we have to figure out which ones are the big fish, so we know where to focus our energy first. When you boil it all down, risk assessment is really just asking 2 simple questions for every hazard on your list. Number 1, how likely is it that something will actually go wrong? And number 2, if it does go wrong, how bad could it be? That's it, likelihood and severity. A simple chart like this one is an incredibly powerful tool for getting your priorities straight. It helps you see everything clearly. Look, a hazard that's highly likely to happen and would have severe consequences, well, that's your high priority item, no question. That's where you put your focus first. And hey, let's not forget a super critical piece of this puzzle. Any good risk assessment absolutely has to factor in all the legal standards and industry rules you're required to follow. Compliance isn't just a nice to have, it's a fundamental part of managing your risk properly. Which brings us to section 4, setting your safety goals. Now that we understand our risks and we know our priorities, we can finally stop just reacting to things and start setting a clear destination for where we want to go. This is where we define our OH&S objectives. A good objective isn't some vague wish like, we want to be safer. No way. It has to be specific, it has to be measurable, and it has to have a deadline. It's a real target that you can actually aim for and track. For instance, instead of saying something fluffy like, let's improve manual handling, a really powerful objective would be achieve a 15% reduction in manual handling incidents over the next fiscal year. You see the difference? It's crystal clear, you can measure it, and everyone on the team knows exactly what success looks like. You know, there's that classic management saying, and it is so true when it comes to safety. If you can't measure something, you can't manage it, and you sure as heck can't improve it. Setting those clear, measurable objectives is the first step toward making real, tangible progress. And that brings us to the grand finale, our fifth and final section, building the action plan. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where we drop the final blueprint that's going to guide our every move and turn our goals into reality. The action plan is literally the bridge between your big picture strategy and what actually gets done on the ground. It takes all that hard work of assessing risks and setting goals and translates it into a clear step-by-step to-do list for the entire team. And for every single item on your plan, you have got to be able to answer these 5 questions. What exactly are we doing? Who's in charge of it? What's the deadline? Do they have the resources, the time, the money, the tools they need? And how will we know specifically when it's done and done right? If you're missing an answer to any of those, your plan has a hole in it. And please remember this blueprint we built isn't meant to be framed and then forgotten on a wall. Not at all. It's a living, breathing document. It's part of a continuous cycle where you plan, you act, you check your results, and you are always looking for ways to get better. True safety is a journey. It's not a destination you just arrive at. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Building a whole safety blueprint can feel like a massive project. I get it. But every big project starts with just one small step. So ask yourself and your team, what is the first, smallest, most manageable thing you can do this week to make your safety blueprint stronger? Find that one thing and get started on it today.